All right, so I have a John Cooper Works Mini here that I'm taking care of. It's a 2009, I believe. One of the things I offer everybody is what I call my bulletproof package. And what we do is we go through and we replace every known issue. We make sure that all the maintenance is caught up based on the years, how old the car is, and the mileage. You know, just because you have low mileage in certain situations doesn't mean you don't change something, because some of these plastic parts will get brittle even if they're sitting. So as you can see, we do a lot of things for these cars. And the only thing that we would have up here that we don't right now is the thermostat housing and spark plugs. But he just recently put those in. And, you know, we can tell when we looked in there that they've obviously been replaced. So that's one thing we're not doing now. The crossover pipe thermostat housing is good to go. And we are going to update the water pump. But this car right here, I've seen a lot of nice Mini Coopers in my day, but man, this one is absolutely probably the nicest and most well-maintained car I've come across. It has, I believe right now, 98 or 99,000 miles. This car is not burning any oil. It was about a half a quart low when it got here, and there's a little bit of sign that the valve cover gasket is failing because it's sucking some oil. It's already been taken off. I've checked everything. So, you know, depending on how many miles he went, that's really nothing for an N14 motor. I mean, we know they like to burn a lot of oil. Now, this gentleman told me that he changes it every 3,000. Every now and then he might go longer, or he'll change it once a year, even if he isn't driving. And this is what a lot of us mechanics that love these cars and love tuning the N14, love racing the N14 say all the time. If they were taken care of, they're a very capable motor. And I personally love them. I have no problem with them. Now, if somebody doesn't take care of them, they don't change the oil, they're going to be a nightmare. But it's just like that with any motor. And direct injection engines, unfortunately, they have a lot of issues with carbon buildup and things. But that's not something that just Mini Cooper does. That's every direct injection engine. So the only issue with this car, though, is we were hitting everything. I asked him how his clutch was, and he said, oh, it's great. It doesn't slip. It's fine. Well, when I took it for a test drive yesterday, the clutch is little spongy on the top end and then super hard all the way down to the floor. And unfortunately, all of us that work on these cars, we know that that is a sign the clutch is failing. A lot of people think they're going to get spongy. It's usually the opposite. The springs, they get brittle, they get hard, they don't want to flex. And usually within a few months of that super hardness, maybe a year, you'll have the clutch start slipping. So I do have to break the news to him that I'm going to recommend he do it. It's the time to do it. It'll be a lot cheaper where I'm already here. But it's up to him. We have so much to do. It's not like we need anything else to do, but we'll let him know. And I'll actually see if I can't get an inspection camera up through the knock sensor area, or not the knock sensor, the crankshaft position sensor, and we'll see if we can't see a lot of problems with the clutch. But like I said, besides that, the motor and the car is in excellent shape. If I could buy this, I would jump off this in a heartbeat. And I'm going to send him all these videos so that if he ever does want to sell it, whoever gets this car is going to have one of the best minis out there. Like I said, I'm very impressed. We see a lot of cars come in, and there's a lot of guys out there, mechanics that work on cars. We're like police investigators, and somebody tells you, oh, I change the oil every 3,000, every 5,000. I can pop that motor up and immediately tell me if you're telling the truth or not. But like I said, we're in Virginia, and we love to help everybody with these cars. We kind of basically do the R56 as our main thing, but we'll do any of them. Like I said, I have a little list of things that I recommend all the customers do. If you got the money, of course, things, these aren't cheap, but buying a brand new car is not cheap either. And even much as I'll try to convince you that, but one of the things I do is we don't just get the parts and start slapping them on. I do a full inspection. That's what I did yesterday. And if I see some major issues with the motor that, putting all this on is going to be a waste of time, we won't do it. We did a compression test. We did everything. And that's what's really blown me away. The compression on this motor was incredible. And If I had to bet money, if somebody showed me this engine and this engine bay and said, hey, Mike, how many miles do you think this had on it? I would say between 20 and 25,000. I would have bet my shop and all my tools this car didn't have over 50,000. So that just tells you what a wonderful job this gentleman has done taking care of his car. He's had this since day one, since it was brand new, and he has really done a great job. And like I said, at 99,000 miles, it sucks to have to do a clutch, absolutely, but this clutch has outlived its life more than over. You know, most clutches are at 60, 70, 80,000. You're pretty much needing to do it. He made it 100,000 miles. He's talking about doing a big trip across the United States from the East Coast to the West Coast. So the car's gonna be great, but I wouldn't do it with the clutch he has now. So we'll talk to him and see what he wants to do. Unfortunately, these dual mass flywheel clutches are not cheap. And I know there's some conversions. You can go to a regular flywheel, but I don't know how much that would affect your drivability, because he's not really into racing. He just wants it to have it, and he wants it to be reliable. So that's what we're trying to give him. But anyway, if you guys have any questions, or if you're working on your own Mini Cooper, you know, feel free to reach out, and I'll give you a list of everything I recommend. And you know, you can Google search this stuff and see, you know, what you need. But for the most part, you know, we have a detailed list of everything you can replace and really help make sure your Mini Cooper is going to last and not give you no problems. You see, I got my security guard working full time. So we got like a little farm here and a bunch of animals and stuff. So, but she likes to sleep during the day and bark all damn night. So anyway, guys, if you have any questions or anything, just reach out. Bye.